19s episode of Get It Forward. Tonight we've got Jimmy Whitehead with us. Evening, Jim.
How are we doing, boys? Good.
Good evening, Jim. Nice to have you on.
I know, pleasure, to be fair, to get asked.
So, we'll start at Woodbury Bridge. Under 19s?
Yeah, so I did a bit of school round. I went to school in Huddersfield. So there were a kid in my class who played, we sort of were rivals a little bit in the Sunday teams or younger. So he went to Woodbury and said, you should come down, blah, blah. When I got there, probably half the team were lads I played with, other half were rivals. We've ended up kind of merging together a little bit, and we had a really, really good 19s. And I was a really quiet kid as a lad. I was really quiet. Yeah. So school football teams, I didn't like changing rooms and things like that. When I really didn't like it.
How old would you have been at this time, Jim?
Probably from when I started, 9, 10, when you start playing till I went there, really. So in my own environment, in my village and where I knew people, I was fine. I could show what I was around. When I got to Woodbury, that's what kind of changed. The lads were just class, really good lads. Yeah. That time you're starting to go out, so I've never really gone out of bounds because I went to school in Huddersfield. And we just had a really good team. One of my good mates now, his dad was a manager who you'll know, Shirt, I think, Ian Shirt. He were our manager, brilliant. And it just started from there, a really good club. And that was my first real introduction to not just football, but being around good lads and changing rooms. And then I started really enjoying it. And we'll probably go into it. I ended up being sort of captain in them teams all the way through, which I would never in a million years have seen myself do that as I walked in that door.
What position were you, Jim?
Striker when I was about 9, 10.
Channel winner or?
I can't remember. I think just a left footer, so I just shoot on sight.
Not like you just waddle cutting.
I just remember playing up front. And then I was drop back centre mid as you do. Yeah. And I really enjoyed playing centre mid, but I soon realised as I was getting, because we always played in A division, Sheffield A division team. And I was a left footer, and then you get left wing back, left back, so anywhere down that side. As I got older, and I had noticed people who played with me, I'd realised I didn't have any pace. That weren't my game. So it ended up being
not like me.
Yeah. So I could see myself, but I was one of them where I didn't need to be star man or main man team. As long as I was playing, I'm not bothered. So left back. And as I got there, it's funny how well we know each other. So Luke and my brother played together.
Okay.
And Luke's younger brother would be probably a year older than me, wouldn't he? So we all sort of knew each other. But I remember going and watching Luke and my brother play for Ketch, Chiefs, weren't you? And Luke so I said I was shy. He obviously he's a talker and but he was left back, and I used to watch him and be like, he talks everyone through a game, talks himself through it, talks the referee through it, and I used to watch. And I was looking back then, I was always a learner. I always wanted to pick some up whatever game. So I sort of modelled my game on him a little bit at times. And he obviously played at a good level at non-league and things like that. So I was trying to pick bits up. So I kind of liked it. You see the game, don't you, and everything. And I thought, anything in behind me, struggling. So I used to be right, position in front, kick people, get close. Yeah. And that was part of and probably why Shirt's dad used to love me is I'd be one who, don't get me wrong, people think when I tell them now you put attacking or aggressive, they're like, you like that.
So any lads in this Woodbury side who we know, any lads?
Yeah, so Ian's lad with Dean Shirt, who's one of the good mates, Lee Garside, one of the best players I've played with, top guy. So he was
another one who's had a great non-league career.
Yeah, it's a class to be fair. So he's one who could have gone and played high, but he, a bit like all of us, I think, wanted to stay together. But there were 2 or 3 in there who could have gone and played. I think if it were nowadays, maybe they would do it different. But I think because everybody were friends and loved playing together. And he was like our captain when I got there. He was the one who'd organised going out and everything. He was just a good guy. He's now the top man again, one of my best mates. Probably what we had: Posy, Fudge, Peter, Stain, who was keeper, who took me down there. Everybody everybody who our age who were good players all played in that team. We had Shane and Warren Jackson were in there. So many good players in that team who just
did well. Won cups, won leagues.
Yeah, we did well. Yeah, we did. We were really good. We then sort of formed. So Woodbury had its first team, and that were it at that time. But United were no 21s reserve. So Ian, we formed the first ever reserve team at Woodbury Bridge to go into county senior 2nd division. So we'd be 18 going on 19 and step into the men's league then. Everybody then realises we were a really good football team. So looking at how like teams play now, they want to pass. I'm not saying we particularly passed out from about that much, you remember, but we'd get ball down and play. That's what we're always taught to do. We're good players. So any team you come up against, they just want to smash you. And when we're playing like Davy Sports, is it top at Manor, and just like, they must have had
great pitches though, weren't they?
Yeah, those pitches.
Good pitches.
Remember getting it.
Decent for football, actually, but the
ball never went on grass.
And they were just like next to you, so I can remember I wanted to get hit 2 or 3 times, like literally just off ball, somebody bang up support, and it was like, you look back now and think, it'd be on Twitter, be everywhere, wouldn't it? Like, you wouldn't get away with it, just mental. But so there were some sides in there who just wanted to do that. I think we missed that first year. I think top 3 got promoted, we come 4th, I think, and we got bullied in a few games. But for growing up and in terms of like your development of your character, it was brilliant, to be fair. But we used to train we train our midweek game every Wednesday, straight into town Wednesday night, student night. Everybody's out.
That's why we're looking at it.
You know, getting straight into shower without, and it was like you'd got nobody would not go out.
Yeah.
And then Fridays we used to go out until like Ian sort of found out. Turned up my best estate. It's like, we think we'd go out Friday, go out Saturday. So then we sort of made a decision as a group and went, you know what, let's do Thursday. So we do something together. We might go like, I don't know, go out for food, cinema. We do something together.
That's good. That's
can't
good.
drink.
Yeah.
And it was sort of frowned upon if anybody wanted to. Yeah. We get there Saturday, we play, and we had a mentality, we win, lose on the booze. That's what it was. Which I think everybody.
You did your Fridays up, you were out
Friday,
regardless.
Saturday. Yeah. And it was brilliant because if you win, you're out and loving it. If you lose, it was still good because you can talk yourself through each other and you have a few drinks and it's like, blah, blah. Or if somebody's made a mistake and nobody wants to say it, once you've had a drink, you're hammering your mind. Like, get it out of the way. And then it's fine. And then Sundays, we'd all play together on a Sunday. So you'd get up and...
I was just about to ask you.
You'd all get up and...
Chances to put it right, Sunday, you had a bad
we were
Saturday,
like a really strong side of work. When we were Tommy Tread, I was a Tommy Tread. So that Garside shirted, there were 3 or 4 of us, Clark, a few of us went there and gradually...
Scully
in there. I don't know if you know Rooney, Lee Roberts and these guys and stuff like that. Sean Eaton, there were a lot of like lads in there who were good solid lads, and we was in playing football, we were a really good side, and we came up probably 3rd division up to Prem. But as we're going up, better lads who were from like Woodbury were joining, and it got to a stage where us and Rec were like 2 best sides on a Sunday. And we'd always be sort of us in finals. We won a couple, probably lost more than we won because they were a difficult side to beat.
You probably had that side at the wrong time. We haven't.
And again, I mean, you speak to them, great lads and that, and we were probably better footballers as a team, I would say. But their togetherness and the will to win and the structure, how they were winners.
Because a lot of us lads were very similar to, I suppose, you guys at Woodbury, where they were playing Saturdays and Sundays together, they knew each other's game inside out.
I think at that time they were counting senior Prem on a Saturday and they'd be winning. So it's like a winning machine. And fair play to them. I was jealous. I was like, we need to be more like them. They're winners. And I would have been probably one at worst for going out on a Saturday.
Yeah.
As we got older, some stopped and I'd be like, I'm not into the back. But then Sundays, it was making me worse. And fair, like letting
were you one of them when you got to be like no good?
I was all right when I was younger. I was terrible. I was fair. And I'd kind of feel a bit guilty at times, but then I'm like, back then you're working Monday to Friday. You can't go out Friday because you're playing Saturday. You don't go out Saturday night. You're back and I'm like, you want to enjoy yourself.
So sat in Bulls all Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, doing that and
horrendous on a Monday at work.
Yeah, and I think back then I don't think we were really type of lads who'd be Sunday afternoon drink. I think because we'd probably been out Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, not Sunday night a bit, but it was just the love of
offering up in Bulls.
Yeah, well, you no money really. You had enough money. All I can remember is working. Enough money to go out, playing football, but it was the same boys, and I say this now, going into coaching, to any parent, regardless of what level you're at, I didn't play at the highest level or anything like that, but I love football,
team sports,
everything about it, mates now, and I won't change any of that, and I'm glad I did stay within that. Probably part of it, I weren't that good to actually get picked up by anyone else to move on, but I enjoyed staying with that, and Woodbury Bridge were a great club for... loved it, to be honest.
So you told us a bit of a story off air about obviously how good Tommy Treads were on a Sunday, and You came up against AFP, the mighty AFP, didn't you, at one point, and just run us through that. Just run us through that game, then, Jimmy, because it was a big game, weren't it? Because they've not lost in a lot of years.
Years apart. I knew they were one of the better sides, and you're thinking, right, we don't avoid them. We got these at home.
So they've got probably at that time they've got Gavallet playing.
They were strong lads. So we played in Poggy. We played Poggy Ret, then opposite Tread. Jack Garrett. So we were passing off about 4-0 up. I think at half time, but we're definitely 4-0 up, maybe going into the second half. I'm sure it was 4-0 at half time. And obviously they'll have brought like, over this team, we knew there'd be a reaction. So they get one back, 4-1. I'm like, no panic, fine.
We're all right, we couldn't fit.
4-2. Right, just keep the ball a little bit. 4-3 with like 10 minutes to go, and you know, don't you? You know what's coming in. We're like, we just couldn't stop momentum. Scored last minute 4-4, and then they'd done us 5-4 in extra time. And we were like, that were our chance. We were thinking to win. I think we were like, I think we'd surprised a few there. I think people really knew we were that much. And they ended up going on and winning it that year.
I was about to ask, did they go on and win it?
And they'll probably look back at that and think, that close from going out, and that probably spurred them on to think every week we've got to be on it and stuff. So we had some really good, it's a really good side that kept us getting better and better. As we were speaking off air, Sunday then we're probably as good as some of the Saturday in a way, because all the best Saturday players come and went to the best 2 or 3 Sunday teams and
same mentality. Just enjoy being in a changing room, playing football, being with your mates.
They were brilliant, and that's obviously gone a lot now. I think the level's not good, and I think
you're right.
Probably encouraged on a Saturday not to play Sundays a little bit. But for me, I would have said it. I would have said 100%. It made me a more solid, harder, tougher player because you got a long wood on a Sunday, and you know what's coming.
Yeah.
You know what's coming here. Flags going up every minute. You're not getting anything again. Everybody knew we were. Everybody knew who they could have a go at and who wouldn't. As I say, where I played and got stuck in, I ended up people probably wouldn't have a go as much because I'll have a go by it, bothered about that. Not in a fight way.
No.
If there's a tackle, and I'll be first in, and I'll probably be first in before you're going to get first in.
Yeah.
So I ended up forging maybe a bit of a reputation that way. Maybe that people thought, well, I've got him instead because they knew where weak links were. And that probably let us down as a group. We didn't have enough solid, tough players in them kind of games. But we were more about playing.
A couple of players would have kept clean.
Yeah, and you'll know they'll be. Looks like they fold the kit back up and put it away. Yeah. But again, them experiences were like, I still loved it, enjoyed it. I mean, back then you were playing Sundays were all about getting to our Welford finals and things like that. Now I'm a Barnsley fan and never played on there until I played Sunday leagues. I think I got to 7 or 8 finals on there, and that's where you look back.
I think there's going to be a common theme. The more we get developed with this podcast, there'll be a common theme because we've had obviously the first couple of people in already, and already they're talking about probably the fondest times in football are them times when you first joined like a Mr. side. You've got that group of lads together, and
I think you're
great times, aren't there?
I think you feel us at that age, maybe 18, 19, you don't really understand what's going on.
No commitments either at home or like you were saying, can properly relate to it. You went to earn your money Monday to Friday, and that Monday to Friday money, once your board had come out from your mum and dad's, you were out on lash, weren't you? Like, I didn't used to see them and
then again, back
again, like, So.
Back then, Barnsley were like such a good night, brilliant. Such a good
He's
night.
coming back though, I think.
He's coming back,
Barnsley.
But then it was outstanding just to go out on. That's why you ended up like Wednesday were one night, Friday were Saturday were crazy. Heaven Hell days. But it was fantastic. And it got to a stage where like, knowing lads, Tread lads, whatever would be, them lads are there. And everybody's giving it eye, knowing who's who, and you're playing them tomorrow, and like one of them says something, and there's a bit of needle there, but it was good, weren't it? And the brilliant thing about it now is everybody's like late 30s, 40s. When people see each other out, or now they've got kids and you're talking to each other, everybody was the same. Everyone disliked each other. It's only because you were all the same people, really. You just had your team and things like that. So
was the first team? A few appearances?
Yeah, played. So I wouldn't have said I were a regular that often, to be honest.
You were gaffer at the time.
When I first started, it was a bit Bowie, Darryl Bowman.
Okay.
So
North East Counties.
Yeah, North East
still
Counties.
Division 1 at that time.
Yeah, they've always been in that since I've known it.
Again, though, which a lot of younger viewers or people that's watching will not realise that at that stage there weren't a Conference North.
No.
So it was Conference.
Yeah.
Unibond 1, Prem 1.
Yeah,
Philip down a bit stronger.
No split actually then, whether there was just Prem Division 1.
I mean, looking back when I used to play it and watched a bit, and I watch it now, I feel like it was better then. I don't know whether it were or not. It felt like it was a better standard than what I watch now. But maybe it's because you're 18, 19 and you're thinking, these lads are great and stuff. So, biggest problem I had probably, as well as, you'll know David Hilton.
Yeah.
So he were at Man United as a kid, played with England under 15s. He won Youth Cup in '93, year after class '92. So I think Phil Neville was his captain in that, and he showed me a video, like an actual video. And he got man at match at Wembley, old Wembley's under 15 England.
At the old Wembley.
Trevor Brooking, man at match at him. So. Didn't work out, man. I think he went to Ayr United, had a couple of games randomly, somewhere like
Darlington,
that. Somewhere like that. Really random. Anyway, homesick comeback. Ended up, I think, playing your Ossets, did he Frickley's and that. Ended up, I lived at Darton, and it come to Husborough, left back in it. So it was like one of them anyway. But I didn't drive at time, and do you not know him? Or do you know him? Or
No. His name rings a bell, but I can't say.
Yeah, proper character like.
You spoke to him before? Or?
He were a couple of years above me at school, but I didn't know him that well because he went to Lilleshall.
Yeah,
right.
So he were in with like Jamie Carragher and all that.
Yeah.
Right, He were in with top lads in the country at this point. So we were speaking. How did you not have a career when you not even if you didn't get to top level? You never had a.
And he were a Bowser lad, didn't he?
Bowser lad, yeah. He lived at Map, didn't he? Or
Mapwell,
Staying Cross, didn't he? So and I lived at Darton, not far from, so he'd pick me up, and I didn't drive at time. And he was funny, he'd like hammer people, but funny. So he was one of them where if he hammered you, you kind of meant he liked you a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you really knew him, he'd sort of leave you fine with him. But he'd bring me. But again, being a learner and like saying, watching Luke, I'd watch him in class. He would buy time up ball, and I'd think, how's he got time up ball? He weren't. I wouldn't say he was slow or the quickest.
Yeah.
He was brilliant. So he was straight, and so I'm, you pass the block straight away, looking at it, but not in a way when I'm going, I'm better than him. I should be. Whenever that, I was like, to be fair, I'm one of them. Yeah, I'm not knocking on door going, oh, I'm not getting there. But learn off him, so he was a good lad. So yeah, he'd be in and out. Like sometimes he'd be, he won't come or whatever. And one of his members.
What did you do for a lift, one?
Yeah, no, Take it out of my wall. But it was good like that, do you know what I mean? So, and then he'd come out, he'd love going out. So he'd come out and he'd be, he's a couple of years older than you. So yeah, probably about 8, 10 years older than me, I bet then. And so but he'd come out with us and everybody loved him. Brilliant, loved a drink and have a laugh. So he'd come out with us quite a lot. And so you were around, so back then reserves at first, you kind of mixed quite well together. It weren't us and them mentality, you were trying to get in. And one by one, your gar sides and your people that got in straight away. And I probably weren't getting in as much as what they were, if I'm honest. But by then I'd become captain reserve team, and I used to love that role really. You get your armband on, it makes you feel brilliant, doesn't it, when you're going out there. And I was kind of probably a good leader in lads and stuff like that.
Shirt still manager?
Ian was still manager at that time. So again, I'd be reliable, I'd play, I'd organise nights. I'd just get on with everybody on that. I weren't a shouter, ranter, raver, or maybe even like best player in team, but there's different captains and that kind of thing. So, but when I called upon, you'd go up there. And it got to like a stage where at that time I feel like his first team was struggling quite a bit, staying in league, but struggling. So some of the lads would be like, you know what, do I want to travel an hour and a half away and
play with Rezzers?
I'd rather play with Rezzers. We're all good lads and we're going out tonight. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So there were a little bit of that. And looking back, I think, is that right or wrong? But you did what you enjoyed, so sort of doing. But one of the memories,
if you're not driving at that point, when you're thinking.
I know, yeah. I don't think there were buses or anything.
I'm waiting for somebody to get me back.
Do you reckon there were any money in first team at that point? Like,
no. I don't think there was. No.
Which is another thing, like you say, people are giving up their time to travel along.
But the things I know, and this is what I think younger players and I struggled with when I worked coaching, obviously, and things like that, is it's all about. I never even knew. I don't think even knew people got paid. Do you know what I mean?
No.
At that time, it was like never really spoke about. Higher non-league, but I don't think there'd have been a lot in. I certainly don't think Musby Bridge would have been paid. If it were, you're talking 20 quids.
Yeah.
Maybe nothing. It wouldn't have been something to keep there as such, but it was just more like at that time, I might be wrong on this, but I think Musby Bridge were probably the highest non-league Barnsley team at that point, I would have said.
Yeah.
I don't think Penistone were in probably
you can't come to senior pro at that point.
Well, they were. Musby Bridge were almost like the top team, and facilities will have been like pretty decent then, which is probably similar to what they were then. One of my memories, I was saying earlier to Lou, is getting called on a Tuesday when nobody wants to go away, and they're ringing up, and they'd know I'd go, but I would go because I'd be like, it's my chance to Well, you're not going to turn it down, and you might travel over and get 5-10 minutes without buzzing with that.
Yeah.
Whereas again, going back into when I managed a little bit, if kid's on bench to start with, he's getting his bag, he's gone home, we don't want to know. And that's the difference in mentality. I thought it was a privilege to be asked rather than, I'm on bench and that. So I think that's where
I get where you're
the changes happened a little bit in
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
So I used to love it, and I'm thinking, I'm with these lads. They know my name now, and that I was one of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had, even when he became first team manager, I played a little bit more, I think. So Bobby was manager then. I think, I can't remember who took after him, but Goffey, you know Goffey, didn't you? Keith Goff took over reserves, and we ended up winning. So that county senior second division that we come fourth, we ended up winning it like year after.
Right.
Oh, no, we won it. Sorry, we did win it. And he was manager, and he'd like bring himself on sometimes when we need a goal. Like a big striker would come on and score, and come and get a couple of diving headers winning games for us. And come to the last game at Woodborough, we needed a draw. We're playing Everest. I don't know if you've ever heard of Everest.
It's funny because Cross were on last week and he used to play for him.
Everest.
Troz 37, so there's every chance.
Yeah, he might play. Yeah, to be fair, yeah, I'm saying he might. So we need a draw to win league at Woodborough. So we're like, so I've got T-shirts printed me, and I'm like, we're champions. I've got them in. I've got champagne, and lads, brilliant this tonight. So we're getting there, and I don't know. I mean, it weren't at a big level, but like. Nerves just got to everybody because you just want to win league, don't you? So we're losing 1-0. Then we got it back. I think Clarkey scored 1-1. And then you're in that kind of like, are we going to win it? Are we just settling a little bit here? Do you know what I mean? And we were kicking uphill at Woodborough. So anyone that played at Woodborough? No, it's down. So we're kicking uphill, which, believe it or not, sometimes it works your advantage sometimes and hold up a little bit. But if you had a physical team who could pin you in, it was very difficult to get out. And we were a young side. We're 2-1 down then, and then it panicked with like 20 minutes left. I've got my dad. I mean, my dad didn't come to watch that. He's there.
Your dad's getting returns on
returns. I'm thinking, can't believe I've done this. So I remember.
His dad would
yeah, you know, this is just cursed, isn't it? And we got a corner, and do you know Faddy Liam McFadden played at Stockbridge? Faddy would be even younger than us. Younger than me. A really good young player. So he got into that. I think that was his only year at reserves, and then he went for a big, strong kid.
And then went up to Stockey from there.
He did a good career. Like so, cross was coming corner, and I remember, and it's coming that side, and I flicked it on. And I've just heard it go, yes, and I'm thinking, yes. As it's trying to realise it, flicked the fan, he's headed it into the top half goal. We thought you were great. I just heard everyone chin off. And then we drew 2-2 and won league. I remember we got to the Challenge Cup final, Hospital Cup final the same season. It was at Rec, and it was Tuesday. And Thursday. Final.
And they were both against Rec.
Both from Rec, both from that. Well, and back then we'd be only early 20s. We're taking 3 days off work there, trying to get yourself. That's what mentality we need to be right. Went to Metrodome, we'll have a swim, we'll do it. Looking back now, you're thinking what we're doing, just turn up and play. Do you know what I mean? And we ended up losing first final Tuesday, and then. So getting together Wednesday and look at a Posy score. Oh, Garth, I think we beat him 1-0 on Thursday, and our captain then. So as a Barney fan, we went to West Ham.
Is there no
fantastic? Do you know what I mean?
Is there no better than playing?
Honestly, I've met it now. We've done. I'm happy.
I think the difference between Tuesday and Thursday must have been cheesy chips or pre-match. After nightclub on a Wednesday.
Thinking of people take crowd there.
Yeah,
I never think they take that cup serious enough. The Sheffield. Senior cup at like NCL level, because that's your because like the bigger clubs, a lot of them play the fringe players, and sometimes if they get to the final, they'll have the best team. Absolutely. But I think people sort of like. I remember coming to I don't know what round you bet Stocksbridge on Pens, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
That.
Yeah,
and you could tell then. I was thinking these will chance. It builds your team spirit up, doesn't it? And packed out, and I'm like.
Well, obviously, there were a little bit there because Richo used to be manager at Penistone. He's doing really well at Stocksbridge. Credit to him for that, but there were obviously a little bit. There's some at the
that probably inspires you to want to go and win.
Absolutely, yeah. And obviously,
that's what.
They were a really crap game, to be fair.
Yeah, but Penistone, like you make it like that. If they're in a position like that, you've got to make it. You've got to bring them down to whatever level to beat them. Yeah. But I think people undervalue it, and
that's why I've been really pleased to see Barza this year for under 21s team in it.
Yeah, they have, aren't they? Yeah.
And the competitive under 21s. So they've done well, haven't they?
Well, they 2 up last night.
2 up last night, lost 3-2 to an Emily side who were,
flying.
Doing well.
But again, it's probably gone full circle where academies are probably thinking we need to send lads to these non-league grounds and against men and toughen them up a little bit, see what, and also maybe appreciate what they've got in as a scholar and under 21s, how you looked after compared to what you have to, non-league, it's not easy, is it?
No.
So, and a lot of them, to be fair, will end up at that level probably because it's not easy to become the pros.
It's a strange one here because they'll play every Saturday morning or they'll play mid-afternoon, midweek in front of nobody.
Yeah, that's true.
But then they'll play the Youth Cup games at 7 o'clock on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday or whatever.
So I don't want you to see what attendance were last night there, but
Same as these.
Well, they're going to, what crowds are, they're going to be getting young lads sticking up bounds of kit, they'll just be hammering, and these will not, they'll either fold because they've never heard it, or it might inspire them on to like give it back. But if you're not exposed to it, you never know.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good, thing.
I do, and I think credit to Barnes as well, because I think they're not just put a side out to get beat, they've put a competitive side out there. Gid obviously beat a lot of teams, and Gid probably one of the best teams in Cup left.
A good run.
A really good run. So,
definitely.
Probably forging links as well.
Yeah. Well, them young lads now that are playing with 21s bands, it might be that they're going out talking for a year or places like that. So they're putting this in window a little bit.
I think so, yeah.
This time of year when there's 2 games a week for the next 12 weeks with weather that we've just had on that.
Yeah.
So, coming towards end of playing career.
I think I'm quite young, 33 maybe. Team had broke up by then.
Yeah.
So people had kids and jobs, people maybe have gone to different levels, and it I'll be honest, it lost a bit of, it lost a lot for me because I like to play with the lads. I thought I'm turning up here just for sake a little bit. And at that point I started, got a job scouting at Sheffield United actually. Somebody, called Ryan Late, Late?
Yeah, Late, yeah.
So he asked Shirty, do you want to do it? And he was like, 9 time. He said, Jimmy, he'd probably fancy something like that. Been a Barnsley fan, I was like, I don't know if I really want to go and work with them, do you know what I mean, as such, but I thought, why not give it a crack? And I loved it, to be fair, going out watching players, and as I'm watching, I'm thinking, it's good, like, enjoyed it, but anyone can pick a good player out of a team, it's not that difficult, as such. I think I can do a bit more, I want to do a bit more, I'm like watching coaching, thinking that could be me. And through me sort of like playing days, I always wanted to be a manager. I always enjoyed that side of it because I was picking bits up. And I think a lot of the stuff I picked up, I didn't really realise I was. But as I got older, I thought that's what I'll do. My dad was always my manager in our younger age groups as well. So you'll know my dad. He managed Tommy Tread for a bit as well.
Okay.
So lads, we were our first final. Well, my dad was manager. So I was always wanting to do it. So anyway, I ended up speaking to Barnes and saying, I'm scouting at Sheffield. Can I scout here? Because it's my club. And he was like, yeah, if you want. Again, it was like, all right, so I'm not coming here. So by then I'm like, right, I'm in Barnes' kit here. What's what I want to do? Set off then, doing a bit of coaching down there again. Just wanted to say, can I come down, volunteer, and just get myself at shop window a little bit and learn it. And then I ended up, and it was Luke's dad, funny enough, Mark. He's always been involved with Barnsley schoolboys. And I've known Mark, obviously, most of my life. And I started doing schoolboys. So he had a chat to Steve Gates, the chairman, and said, Jimmy wants to do it, you need to get him in. And it was simple as that, you're in. That's it, you're under 11's manager. I'm like, okay. Never took a training.
What year were we looking at here?
This would be 7 years ago.
Okay.
So I've not done any coaching until 7 years ago. Just playing, going out. Thought I wanted to do it, but never put anything in place.
So at this point in time, it's just completely fresh to you, no coaching managers all that.
Nothing at all. No, never took a step. Brand new. And back when I played, you'll probably agree, were there any real coaching sessions, or did you just have a game a lot of time?
Well, if you pissed about, you're running.
Yeah.
Balls went away, weren't they?
Yeah.
You're either, but it used to be, flick it into middle man, he used to set you a volley and that one it. You went, no light to it. There's an old hands and play. It's changed a bit, and it's changed a lot.
And I can't remember hardly any of the training like that. But, he still enjoyed it. So I went into Barnsley Boys and absolutely loved it. I would touch training so seriously. I want to make sure it's this. I would watch. It's all on YouTube or plays or asking people. There's all content out there. And I want and just loved it. Completely loved it. And I'm like, right, this is what I want to do now. So we had a really good under 11s. We got to like national finals then at Melwood at Liverpool's old training ground. So you had to win like it were Yorkshire and North Midlands. You had to win your section. Yeah. And the top 6 sections at country went to Melwood to play a tournament on the day. So we won that, got to there, and there were 2 groups of 4, and top 2 played each other for like National Cup, bottom 2 played for play. We ended up coming 3rd in our group, which were a bit disappointed, but it turned out top 2 in group ended up getting to the final and playing each other. So we're in with Liverpool and Birmingham, so we're in with 2 of the biggest. Anyway, we went into play one and we ended up winning it. So we come 5th in country really. First year now, we're like, this is fantastic.
Loved every minute of
Loved every
coaching
minute.
side.
Yeah, absolutely loved lads, and could really I thought I'm quite good at this. I feel like I'm pretty good at this. Probably.
So we'll come on to Momentous in a short while, and obviously that's a massive thing for you, what you've built up together with other people, obviously that's been around you and good people that you've got around you. But you took Eversley job on.
Yeah.
So just tell us a little bit how that come about. So Eversley at the time we're struggling, and I don't think it's struggling in terms probably financially, and probably struggling in terms of what they'd lost in terms of people who had finished their careers. So like Rye White, AD, Garside obviously had moved on and he were playing. Differently, he obviously came back at one point, and I'm sure obviously it probably helped you out a couple of times as well. But it were an unrecognisable Eversley, weren't it, at that point in time? But just tell us how that came about.
So by this point, I'd been coaching at Barnsley in Shadow Scholarship, which were like sort of 16 to 18-year-olds on that pro. So I've been doing that as well. So my view, we're trying to get coaching every age group and level to try and just round myself off to it better. I then formed. I went to Worsborough and I formed the first under-21 Worsborough Bridge team. So we just held open trials. Got a good side with my Shadow Scholarship connections. I was bringing them in. The plan was for them to play at non-league ground on a Thursday.
Which is still going now, by the way. Worsborough 21s, isn't it? Yeah.
And they played on Thursday at non-league ground, and the lads loved it because, as Luke said earlier, we played on Wednesday afternoon at Oatwell on Astro. No one's there. Good facilities, but no one's there. These lads are coming under lights Thursday, a few people in, a bit more like proper football sort of thing. So we ended up getting a really good side, and we come second to Answorth. For always have had a good setup on the 21. They were come second, and Moz was manager then. Obviously, you're with Moz now, when you were original manager. And I don't think he never came down to watch really. And we've got a good side, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he come down for a couple of games and they were like, hey, you've got some good lads. And nine of that squad ended up making the first team debut that season.
Wow.
And I think nearly every one of them has gone on to play your Stocksbridge levels, that type of level and above.
Almost replicated what you had.
Yeah, a little, And they were our top Shadow scholars. We had a really good Shadow scholar team who won everything. Again, they've never had a side as good as that at Barnsley in Shadow Scholarship, and they came there and they moved on. So really brilliant. Yeah, we'd come second. And how it transpired there is Moz left. I don't know, I can't remember why, but he left. And I thought, Bovey rung me up and were like, will you take tomorrow's game? By this point, I'd help Moz a little bit outside because sometimes Moz used to play. And you need somebody on the sideline to do it. And I said, well, you said, no problem. You maybe did 3 or 4 games, quite enjoyed it, to be fair. And I never really wanted to go into that level of managing, if I'm honest.
No.
I quite liked it. And but we do tomorrow's game, Anyway, get a phone call and they were like, Fudge Fudge and I were like, why? And they were like, well, we think he's best man for the job type thing. I said, well, you've not interviewed anyone. Why? How do you know he's best man for the job? Oh, we know what you can do. We don't know what I can do. I can do it at this level, but I've never done that. I said, I don't think it's at that point, I didn't think it was the way you should do it. I think you should, that was my opinion on it. So that straight away out of Maine then came up for, will you come and take over at first team out of Maine, the big county senior prem?
Yeah.
So we went there.
Probably just after when Terry went back to Munwell then, or
must have been, yeah.
Yeah, around because Terry
was manager out of Maine. So he left there. So he just took over it out and went to Worsborough, and I ended up right there. As a bit of a swap. So COVID hit then. I think I only managed 3 games, and it were 3 games over about 6 months. Yeah. I wanted to bring in all the Shadow scholars and do what I've done. And at the time, Shane Kelsey, who was rec manager, he rung me and said, "Will you do reserves? We're trying to we're needing to get good reserves, young staff. Seen what you've done at Worsborough. Yeah. We need to get lads into first team. That's our way. The only way. There's no money. Yeah. Obviously, lads have retired. I think they had quite a bit of money at one stage. I think when Potts was manager, I think they paid quite a few. And I think just general club didn't really want them to do that. So
they've gone from lads who played from peanuts 15 years and all retired to them.
I think lads were coming from all the Yorkshire for good money and then going straight home. And it sort of lost the community sense at club, I think, a little bit, like that. Yeah. So and Kelsey, obviously, were a rec lad, weren't in play. Yeah. I know he went off and played at good levels, but he did play for Worsborough. Funny little story in a match when we played at Worsborough. I remember
there'll always be a funny story with Kelsey.
He swings his head quite a bit and gets sent off. So I can't remember who were playing, but I dug outside at Worsborough. Yeah. Somebody said something and his chalping at him, and I think he put a bad tackle. Somebody picks ball up and just volleys it straight at this kid on bed, bang, straight in the face. Red card, 5 minutes in, red card, gone off, and that's what he'd do. Brilliant player, like a really good player.
Yeah,
but he
scored goals from wherever he went, but he did have a red
missed a little bit.
But a great kid.
And then fans were like, "What are you doing? You're killing us." But
you definitely wanted him on your side.
Top player. And deceivably, when you look at him, people who didn't know him would be like, he was pretty skinny, weren't he? And well up to him, but he was such a he was such a good player. He used to score some unbelievable goals. So we got manager. So came in summer, trying to get a team together at reserves, and a couple of friendlies, and then the county senior season starts in like September, mid-September, where NCL you're starting. Well, probably end of July, beginning of August now, isn't it? And
depending on cups.
depending on it gets earlier now.
They finish earlier, but
yeah, exactly. So they didn't have a great start. I don't think that they've been saved from relegation by COVID. I think year before they got saved by somebody else dropping out at league. They were actually wanting to go down because being at NCL Prem at that stage with zero money, it's ruthless in it at that level. I think they lost the first 7 or 8 games, and he said, I'm resigning, I'm going kind of thing. So, but when we were like, well, you take the next 2 games because we haven't been a manager. Again, during pre-season friendlies, I'd go in and help him out a little bit with coaching him. I'd try and help out, but it's one of them where you don't know whether you're stepping on anyone's toe.
I know.
You don't know what to do really. I've always been, I've not had much experience, but I've always been the manager. Whether it was schoolboys I've always been the manager. So I kind of like that role rather than, I've never actually been an assistant manager and know what to do in that role. So I see we played away at Albion. Is it Albion who share?
Farsley. Well, it used to be Farsley, the Bradford Park Avenue. But it used to be Farsley.
Set up, so I've gone. And I probably didn't know half the lads' names, if I'm honest, because I wouldn't do. I've not followed NCL level since I finished. So you're talking probably at least 4 or 5 years. So I didn't really know how good level or bad or who they were. Apart from I knew we'd be struggling. And we went there and it was 0-0 at half time. So I'm thinking, all right,
deal with this,
Anyway, we ended up losing. We lost 2-0. We had an own goal. This started off the bad luck that I had forever. We scored an own goal, we got a man sent off, and then they scored it last minute. And we had one off line at 1-0. They scored last minute, so we lost 2-0. And I'm thinking, to be fair, enjoyed that. There's a bit here. I think we could be all right. You know what I mean? Naive. And then we played Answorth at home on Tuesday, and they beat us 2-1, and we were winning 1-0. And
Answorth were good at that time.
I was thinking, Jesus, it's going to be one of them tonight. Getting a bit and I'm getting a bit nervous here because you're putting yourself out there. And it looks like it's you, even though you just took over. And again, last 10 minutes, they beat us 2-1. They were a good, decent football side. So back when we did scale squads, we were a pressing. We knew what tactics. And I was trying to bring that into that level, which, looking back at times, is you've got to have the right people. You don't train enough. I started remembering we trained every day at Scholars. Shadow Scholars.
And work on loads of stuff.
And things. And I went up to Woodford and they knew what I wanted. Same lads. Went to Out and they knew what I wanted. So I brought a couple in, but they didn't know. So anyway, I was 2-1. I'm thinking, right, it's not bad anyway. I thought, that's me done. Fine, go back to reserves. And they went, would you do it? We think, lads said, you've been all right, will you do it? So I just thought, I'm not one of these who, I'll take a challenge on it. I'm like, why not? Yeah, why not? Didn't think I wanted to be rec manager at one point. I was on reserves. I thought eventually I'll step into that. I didn't think it'd be
as soon as it did.
So I never actually took a reserve game, a game for reserves at league. Never took one. I'd already gone into that. So then my job, I'm finding another reserve manager. And they start thinking it's like a full-time job doing all that, and you realise how much goes in.
People don't realise that.
They don't realise it. And then first game I had as a proper manager, well, Penistone Church away on a Wednesday. So I got Richard sat when we beat him.
You did, mate.
So it was his last game we were leaving. And we went there.
Although, let's put on record that you deserve to win that game.
You think?
Absolutely.
I can just remember getting battered for 90 minutes and
I think
in there.
I think for that reason.
Yeah, maybe.
For that reason. A lot of young lads. I did play. Can we move on?
Well,
I just think.
I don't know if Josh Brown got one. I only got one. Yeah. So I got to change rooms and I'm late. It's a midweeker as well, isn't it? Yeah. Gashi, Mel Gashi.
Yeah, is he Wakefield?
I'm going to be late. I get a taxi. Right, get it. I'll pay for it. Just get it. I need you as my best midfielder.
Yeah.
So I pay for a taxi for him to get here. He's getting late.
Was that night?
That night, yeah. So we're all like, and then like, there's by this point I've already done the mentor. So coach a Penniston team. So I'm like, people know I am at Penniston. So and I'm thinking like, you don't want to look bad here. I'm thinking this is could go well. And again, we had a kid called Binsey, Brad Binsey, who we signed, had been released from Barnes, just been released from Barnes, a class player, but again, never played at that level. And he set winner up for Brown. Yeah. So we came at half time, thinking we're 0-0 at half time. Again, you're thinking, we're in there, we're doing all right here. And I had, honestly, looking back, it's such a poor side at that day. The lads in there, I'm thinking, why did I pick him?
Yeah.
If I'm totally honest.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I think I've just said to you before when you came, and I've said to Smudgy before, I think that who else could they appointed Jimmy to get a side out like you did? And I know you lost a lot of games, but you were competitive in a hell of a lot of games.
Yeah, we were in that. Yeah,
you know, and I just think you did an excellent job. And I used to say it to Lenny and the lads up at Penniston. I just said, like, you know, we've been on radio together at Penniston, and I've said, you know, what you did for the club at the time when they needed someone like you, I think, to just settle things down and put a team on pitch that were competitive, and albeit it were your scholars that were doing you, but they did you proud, I think, as well. Yeah, they probably grew up a lot with you as well.
And there were lads who were sort of rec lads who'd been there a while, who were good lads, and we got on like we had a good team spirit. They were getting there, were good, and then they were you could see them getting better, but you knew you kind of go into games thinking you know you're not going to win, but what can you get out of it, and can you be competitive?
I'll take a point now.
Yes, and I used to like getting to lads how important this club is in Bar, how respected they are, and how lucky you are to play for this club, and just try and build. And they didn't. I don't think they let anyone down, and anyone did. No. It was just the fact that people's got to appreciate the level you're playing at with players who've never been exposed to it, or some players who have been exposed who are just simply not actually good enough for that level. So we got. So I remember we went to Grimsby Borough won league that year. Again, we were scratched. I remember on the Friday, I was on Penniston FM that Saturday morning, and I think we had 11 players available, and I'm trying to get 1 or 2 in. Just said, you're going to have to help, please play, like you signed on, you play. And we must have gone down to 12 or 13 players to Grimsby, and we were winning 1-0 at half time. 10 minutes into the second half, Stewie, you know Mark Stewart? Stewie?
Yeah.
Stewie got sent off 2 yellows. So I played it was with Stewie. He'd be probably gone 35. A good top kid as well.
Play Emily for a bit.
Emily. Got that, and then they scored a free kick, direct free kick with 5 minutes to go. 1-1. I'm like, God, I'll hang on to that, but still, it's a good point.
Take a point.
Yeah, and then there were 6 minutes added, but 6 up, and they scored in 8th minute at added time, right, and we lost 2-1. But from the kick-off from 2-1, we launched it, and Brizzy, Jack Briscoe, he hit post from that, they made it 2-2 at 99th minute. And I remember just, I've never been as low.
No.
And I thought,
and I think,
unbelievable. And their manager was saying, we were like, man, you should have
got that bloody drive to do what we're on.
that one. And we're not busting that.
I don't know if you were like me, but when you've still, even if you've been involved in football now, it doesn't matter whether you've played or whether you've managed, can't sleep.
No, mate.
No, I can't sleep. I'm just thinking about a game and like, bloody hell, what we've done wrong here if I were playing. I think well I played.
I've got better. I'd get up bus and I'd sit up front on my own. I couldn't talk to anyone. Looking back, it was probably not the right thing to do that, if I'm honest. But I was new to it myself a little bit, and I've learned in terms of like when you do lose, you can't do a lot about it. What can you do next week? We're getting relegated that first year, which we knew we were going to do, but we had a few highlights with that, and we needed to go down because the club needed to at least get to MCL Division 1 where there were anything like competing. Again, what happened when you go down? Everybody left. So then you're looking for another brand new team. Again. You got one. Again, you're picking scrap by, and you've got to remember in pre-season, everybody trains with different clubs, don't they, and wants to get best offers. So we're left with like hardly anyone training or scraps because no one's got a club. So don't start very well. Then we get some others in, then they leave. And the turnover of players in that second season was ridiculous, to be honest. Yeah. And I think we would have gone down. We ended up staying up by more default, really, on the fact that teams dropped out of the league or they restructured and things, which were, were good for the club. And it were just that there was such a losing culture. And obviously, from my point of view, I'm the manager, and don't get me wrong, I'd be out in town and somebody had a drink and say, what the shit, and do this and that. And I'd have to go back and be like, you've been a manager, you want to do it. Like, I tell you what, I'm one kid, I saw him in the little booze with the piss, and he's like, Jimmy Whitehead, aren't you? I'm like, yeah. He's like, shit you. I was the manager. Like that. I went, who are you, mate? And he's like, your team's a disgrace, a joke, what you've done with that. I went, give me your number. I said, do you want to come training on Tuesday? Tell lads, data. He's like, I'll tell. So give me your number then. So give me his number. I went, right, see you, top man, see you Tuesday, you'll help me. You tell lads what you think of him. Rung him Sunday. I went, is it so-and-so? I went, yeah. So it's Jimmy Whitehead. He went, Tuesday, 7 o'clock. He's, no, what? I went, come and tell lads what you said to me and what about. What do you mean? What do you mean? I said, come on, you made your mouth when you had a drink, go and do it. Yeah. No, phone now. So never heard from him again. So I had to go into County Senior League. And I was saying, well, I don't want to stay on as manager if we're going to make County Senior with respect to that league. So we ended up staying in the league and stuff like that. And then we started that season. And to be fair, compared to what we've done in the last 2 seasons, I think we've maybe got something like, I don't know, we got 8 points, 7 points from 8 games. Not brilliant, but remember, everybody's left again nearly. So if you're going back again, start of season, we played 1-1 away, didn't we? Lost 1-1 town, beat us 4-1. And then he just rung me the next day and said, we're sacking you basically, and that was that. So, which at the time, I think it was more your ego gets dented more than anything else. I think if I'm honest, looking back, it was probably the right decision in terms of, you've been there 2.5 years, it was tough. The annoying thing is, we just got out with a good group of lads. Yeah. And they'd had, your Ricky Berry say who'd had 40 games in NCL and started becoming a better footballer. And there were certain people like that, few young lads who we'd got in.
We even got Aidan Ward in.
Yeah, Aidan, a good centre half. He made him captain, so you need to lead this. So we're getting there. And again, the year before, Parkgate were in bottom 3, believe it or not, and they shelled a load of money. And Shirebrook ended season and ended up going on. They're just getting everybody in from everywhere. Yeah. They weren't willing to do that, so we were like dropping. And the season after, we'd have been I would say not comfortable, but would have been between sort of mid-table and relegation. Would have been all right.
But you're in safe.
I'm in safe. But no
disrespect to them, because they're strong as well, don't they? Teams like that were weaker than what previous year.
Yeah. The league got weaker, and that one again. No, we've dropped on probably the weakest league it was, and we could have done okay. But at least if we'd have left, say, at the end of that season, we'd have probably left them in an healthier position. And obviously, what it's like then. Lads which I was quite touched really is quite a few lads left and were like, I'm not playing for anybody else. And I said, no, you want to go and play? But they were like, no, I'm not playing, but that's not right. And they wanted to keep Luke, Shirty and Kev, the rep wanted to keep them free on and not me, which I thought, again, were a little bit, I didn't like. I thought, I didn't say anything, did I? And they were like, no, we're going.
No, I've been in the same situation.
Which I would have done, to be fair. I never said it, but I would have, if I would have done the same. Yeah. So I kind of...
If I'd stayed on, we wouldn't be saying no.
No, I think I would have expected him to happen, but I never said him to do that. I thought it was just I thought if we're going, we're all going out, because it would then made out as if it's all my fault when you're the manager, so under the day, it stops for me, don't get me wrong, but we're a team. I used to, we all chatted about opinions, who want to put what we think, which I think we should. Everyone's view, ultimately, it's my decision. And to be fair, did we do a good job? It's difficult, obviously, results-wise, no. But circumstances we were in and
where the club were and everything.
And I never said I wanted to be manager in terms of I never went for it. We're just, would you do it?
It's a strange one, isn't it, though, Jimmy? Because, like you just said, they wanted to go to County Senior.
I enjoy all of it because
good time. No regrets in taking that.
Because at the end of the day, wherever I go next, it can't be as hard as that.
And you want to get back into it?
Initially, I was like, what I did before, I used to get straight in, and I got offered, I think we got offered Emsworth job, but they were County Senior Prem. Yeah. And I was like, are you going back up? And they were like, well, we're going to try. So your pitch size is wrong. And I went, if you're not going to, I don't see the point really. Yeah. Dodd had phoned me a few months back. Again, they were going to go a bit. I spoke to lads and Shirty by this point had his kids had started getting to football. Kev were he'd been off for a while and were like, I don't think I'm going to get back in. And you were at Woodbury, weren't you?
Yeah,
just gone down. So, and I enjoyed that, coach. I enjoyed ringing these. These probably didn't enjoy me ringing them every day, but I'd be like that. We'd be every day, wouldn't we?
You speak more than you.
Do you know what I miss? Do you know what I do miss about it? And this is again going back to why I love football and the whole part of it. You don't talk to each other as much when you're not in, because you'll still
Yeah.
we still the Barnsley boys, but like me and Shirty ring each other. We're still good mates, but you're not ring every day.
No.
Me and Kev, you kind of it drops off a little bit, doesn't it? And you end up going like, oh, used to love ringing lads and talk about it. You get that excitement, don't you, for the week, and then you get to Saturday and you think, oh no, it's Saturday again now. We're losing it today. Do you know what I mean? But I used to love the wins out and loved when I said it lads, enjoy the win. It's brilliant when you win because you didn't win much. You appreciate it. When you lost.
When I finished, obviously, this last couple of years and obviously went on to the management team, I was thinking, are them wins going to be as sweet? And I think, you know, when you're watching it and you've had an impact on lads in training and stuff and you've sort of built the confidence up before a game and told them what to do when you get that result, I think it's
I have enjoyed coaching better than playing for the reason that you're in charge of you are essentially in charge of everybody.
Yeah.
So when it goes well, it's like you've had an impact. When it don't go well, you got to take it and be like, that shows more about you when you lose, probably.
Absolutely.
So if I used to stand up right on touchline, you feel everybody's looking at you and everybody's thinks you're crap, and they probably did. But it's easy standing out there when you're getting beat and you're getting beat 6 and 7 at times, or you're on an 8-game losing streak and you're going to do it, and your team's change up time. But as I say, if that don't make you stronger and don't, so if you're going to put me off doing it, which it hasn't, or it'll, you know, I don't want to get back in. I do, but I want it to.
Got to be right for you.
The problem I'll have is my record is terrible as a manager, and if you don't know certain people, I think NCL sometimes is like if you've been playing for loads of clubs or you know people, it's all getting in. You might be the best person, but you might not be.
Yeah.
And you probably need someone to like really sit with you, who understands football and really wants to sort of like do something. And I'd love to get back in and do it because I miss. Why I do Barnsley Boys still as well as I like the competitive edge on a Saturday. So I do a lot of coaching a week, which is not for a team. There's no better is there than a match day. Whatever level you're at, whatever age group, you're still doing your task.
Still a plan come together.
Yeah, I still do the same on a Saturday morning with them as I do with adults. It's tailored differently to age group, obviously, but I still love winning with them on a Saturday. I love it. It's great.
So you've just gone on then and said sitting down, and talk to somebody with similar mentality. Mm-hmm. Takes us straight in then to momentous, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, this is not a plug.
Is it not?
You can use it as a plug by all means, Jimmy, but it's like take us through. Obviously, last bit of your story on here. Take us through this coaching phenomenon that it's become now in Barnsley. That every time I speak to someone that's got a young lad, young lass. They've had some form of coaching from a mentor. So take us through this. Yeah, take us through that.
So while I was at Barnsley scouting and coaching, I met Martin Devaney, who you'll know from up Paddington, and I was sat on my own at games, and he's like, "Why are you sat on your own? You get a free ticket and coaches here. Come and sit with us," kind of thing. And they were the only one who said that. So we just got talking as like we are. No, it weren't so much about football. It was just. We just got on as lads kind of thing, and they were like, "What are you doing tonight? Fancy a pint?" Yeah, go on. They started getting to know each other, and he's like,
"Did he buy it?"
If he might have done at that time, I don't know.
Martin, what are you on your podcast?
So we did that, and we got on, and I was doing with Barnsley Boy. He said, "If I can help you with your coach, and just let me know." And I thought, "Oh, brilliant!" I went home that night, and I was like, "I need to work with him. I need someone to help me." Become someone really in that sense. So we talked about a football academy. He used to go to like all the camps, had been a football, loved his football. So I said, we were in Sheffield, I remember in Sheffield now, and I said, why don't we just use our academy? Like, fancy. He said, well, you're going to have to do a lion's share of like the running because I'm obviously at Barnes Football Club. And I said, that's fine. I said, you know, he's the sort of like figure who's been a professional footballer. I was watching plays, a professional manager. So much I can learn, but people respect him and know him because of what he's done. So it started with that. So I remember we were driving to Cheltenham races, 2020. So he's from Cheltenham originally, so we used to go down races. And started hearing on radio about this COVID. Well, not affect us, you know what it was like. And that was the day where I think Atletico Madrid play Liverpool, and it's hard apparently like Spaniards bringing it over. Like within like a week, we'd register.
That's right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Cheltenham were packed like 80,000 at Cheltenham.
That's right.
No restrict because it was that couple of days when it all just
week after it was like ridiculous.
Completely.
Yeah.
So we just registered the business, and in a week later went into lockdown. So we're like, it's a great start. And to be honest,
do you think you're playing a part in that?
Disinfectant code. And to be fair, like it ended up, and I don't say a good thing because it was a terrible time and it was awful and everybody hated it, but it gave us a lot of time to plan. Yeah. So I'm working at NHS at the time. Martin were off football completely because even professional football by this point had shut down. Yeah. I was still working at NHS, which I was really glad about.
Yeah, I was.
I'm not a stayer in person. No. So we did that, and then we do a Facebook page, we do an Instagram page. We did a London marathon. You couldn't do it London Marathon, but you could do it around your area, just map 26. So we raised a lot of money and put it into NHS. So we were trying to build like a following of people, show like, look, this is what we're about. We're good people, we want to do good things. We're good coaches. We want to have the right. That's how we want to be. So then you start doing your one-to-one coaching because that's all you could do. Top of pencil, you know what grammar school is. Yeah. Top field.
How did it start? This just from Facebook, Instagram, and then people buzzing you and saying, "I want to." If
Martin Devaney puts a post on about this, people are going to probably.
Martin Devaney,
that happened. And then, to be fair to me, I had Barnsley boys following. Yep. So I had that team, and there's 4 other age groups. I've done Musborough, I've done scholars, I've done quite a bit. So your name would, people know you're coaching, but not to probably the level you're doing now. So just got traction because everyone's on Facebook. There's no else to do, is there, in lockdown? So you're online all the time. So it was good with that. Yeah. We had Corley Woodrow, we had loads of Barnsley players doing Zoom question answers. So again, it was free to join on.
Very good. Yeah.
So with things like that, we're trying to give back. I remember doing the most bizarre thing in my mum's front room. Doing a football training session online, doing skills in the front room. They were copying. That's how mad we're live, yeah. So they'll log on, and I'm doing that. Madness. They're doing it. I'm looking. 50 lads on, 60 lads.
How does it work over? It sort of it made this direction.
Yeah, it did. Honestly, did. And then we started the group sessions. Then you're back in lockdown in one-to-ones. Then you're back. So that first 2 years were like up and down, but we were just gaining traction, and people were seeing what we're doing. The content were good. You do video. I remember doing getting up there, doing drills and going, can you do this? I'll send them in. We'll put them online for your best one to win a prize. Anything you could do to sort of like get people, and you were helping them, but obviously you were helping yourself as well because you were wanting to put your name out. Anyway, come out of lockdown, and by this point we set off proper group sessions, and then you're getting. I remember being in we were at Shoot 5 at Silverstone. We had 40 kids, and I said to my work, we're never going to get 50, and now we're on to like nearly 400 players.
I was just about to ask you a question on that. Is that your ceiling, or is that?
No, so it's gone from. So then we moved to Shaw Lane then because Shoot 5 were too small. So we literally said the pitch are too small. So we went to Shaw Lane again. We then got with Martin. We got an official link feeder academy to Barnsley Football Club. So our better players we would send to Barnsley on trial and get them signed at Barnsley. So that you're cornering you're getting your best players coming, you're getting your mid-level players, you're getting your fun players. They were started having to go to a stage where you had to put a session on for each ability because we had everyone together and we're like, this isn't going to work long term. Then we opened a centre at Frickley Ground. They've got a new 4G at Frickley.
Yeah.
So we opened one there. Then we just opened one at Durham Valley College, and then we've now run the shadow scholarship added at Barnsley. We run our own one at Durham Valley. So Mark Tinks, who ran the Barnsley, he's the full-time member of staff with us now. So I knew, I'm like, he's the best I know at this. So he's come and set Durham up. So then suddenly we have mini sessions for 3-year-olds up to 18-year-olds now. So it just grow, and now we want it to grow even more. Yeah. So I ended up leaving. So I think I worked till, I don't know, like late 21, I think, 2022.
And now you're full-time.
And then I just, one day, I was waiting for my house to go through. If I needed my NHS your job and proving what you're, because by this point, the business weren't earning a lot of money because you're up and down with lockdown.
Yeah.
So I got that, and I just remember handing me notice and brilliant. Worked there since I left school, so I've been there for my 17 year. Like, it's all I've known, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Got home that night and I was like, so I had to give my car back because I had a car through work that I paid on NHS scheme. Just bought an house and I was like, this don't work. If this don't work, I'm knackered. All I want to do. Yeah. Luckily, my brother owns a car, so I used to rent a little car off him.
So that took some bollocks then, didn't it?
Looking back at what we did, yeah, a little bit. But
I wouldn't say took a gamble on it. Obviously, you've got Martin's professional.
And he was the one who probably like.
But it's still to go. I've had a job 17 years. It pays bill, and everybody knows like none of us. Everybody wants to do what they enjoy doing for a job.
Yeah.
and you are now,
Yeah.
which is unbelievable.
And I probably work out, well, I do work a lot harder now than I ever did at work, but I feel
For
like
that reason.
but I don't feel like I work, if that makes sense. Because
You enjoy it so
Yeah,
much.
if you enjoy your work,
it's
you're
a
not
job.
working,
And
are you?
sometimes I come home and football sessions going well. I'm like, you're buzzing. But I would like that when I'm Eversley manager. There's no difference.
No.
You're getting paid to do it now, but I don't do it to get paid. I do it because I love it. But
Never get up in the morning now and think work.
never.
Don't get up in the morning.
You know what I mean? Never
I'll tell you the
think-
biggest problem I had, I'll be honest, is my day I thought were backwards because I'd get up in the morning, wait around till 4 or 5 o'clock and then start work till 9, finish at 9. Everybody's like worked in the day, I'd chill out. So it took me ages to get my head around that.
You were session planning.
Yeah, there's always stuff to do in the day. So, it was
So how
fine.
many kids have you got under Momentous now?
So we're nearly 400 now under that, which
Which is
And how many coaches?
phenomenal.
I think we've got 8 coaches now.
Shout out to coaches because they're as important as
Yeah.
anybody out there, mate.
The hardest thing is getting a good coach because you're putting your sort of business and reputation in their hands, really.
Yeah.
And again, if you're a good coach, I think you want to look good and you want to be known as a good coach.
Yeah.
So I think by doing that, get a good one, that they're helping you because, we've got some good, we've got 2 or 3 now who have left academies to come to us because, in fairness, they'll probably get more money doing that because there's more money in it. But the kids then are getting, academy standard coaches. In the private academy, a lot of these will never make an academy. Some of them will, but the academy were never built on we've got to get the best players. It's all about that. It were built on what I've spoke about the whole way through. It were built on enjoying football.
Yeah.
It's a great story, I think. And it's like credit to you for like, I wouldn't say seeing a gap, but I suppose you have.
Do you know what? People were doing it, but we spoke off air about like what you're doing and things that no one reinvents the wheel, but if you can do it better than someone else, then you'll do well at it.
Yeah.
So the amount of like things I have done that again I didn't realise I was planning for, but I have been in my head subconsciously.
Yeah.
Then there's things you are properly planning to do.
Yeah.
I've met the right person at the right time. He will say the same as well because he met me at the right time, and we have such a good connection as mates and in a working thing.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I've got someone to learn off who's a top coach. And then around here, there's loads of it. And since COVID, there's more and more wanting to try this. And why not? End of the day, like, if you can coach, do it. But you've got to be better than
And the reputation you've built.
The
as well.
reputation.
Yeah,
So now, like you said, which is really pleasing to hear that,
I do it. I'm not just saying that because I've got you on. If I speak to, so there'll be girls playing at Penistone in Lily and Nell's team, my kids, and they're having a bit of one-to-one coaching, and I go back and guess who where, and it's momentous, and that's what flags up. So it's great, and if it pushes these girls and boys on to have either a successful career or enjoy the game that we love.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing.
Anybody who's listening in. Momentous coaching available to research Facebook.
So we've got our website, momentousfootballacademy.co.uk. We've got Momentous Football Academy on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, everything. We're easy to find.
Yeah. If you're looking for that next level of coaching,
any level, because we do everything. But we run sort of 6 down a day without doing anything Sunday because everybody's usually out playing the games and things like that. Although. Again, now when games are off, people up phone can have a session. Yeah, no problem. And I'm one of these that I don't like to. I'll never turn a session. I love doing it, even through Christmas. I've worked every day through Christmas with academy players because they're off and things. So anybody who we're getting from all areas, actually fantastic.
Brilliant.
Where we are at Shaw Lane, we get people coming from Wakey, Sheffield, and things like that. Durn, you get your Rotherham area. It's harder in them areas getting your name out. Don't get me wrong, because round here you've either played against somebody and their son and daughter wants to come. So that's the other big thing I've got looking
word
at
of mouth, like
is
stuff.
People who I've played against or with now got kids. So their kids, they'll send them to someone who they know, someone who they like, they trust. And I think I'm quite active on social media, and some people will enjoy what I put on, others will probably block me because I'm bored and embarrassed if I put on there. But it's work, and that's why we do it. And you put your content out there, and if anybody wants to come, everybody's welcome, whatever level.
Excellent.
If you're after another venue, though, Brett's back garden bigger than that.
Oh, is it?
I'll have to shift caravan off.
We finished last week with Cros, and it were a good little bit of way to finish. Just asked a couple of questions, quick fire questions.
Okay.
no hard. We just writ a couple down. First one's from Smudger. He likes this one, so.
Would Jimmy Whitehead be a better player if he'd been coached by Jimmy Whitehead?
Yes.
Straight answer, 100%.
Yeah.
I think we know, like you said, early training sessions.
Training sessions are better. I think there's more care. You look after people more. You want to know what they're all about. So yeah, I don't know how good I'd have got, but I reckon it'd be a little bit better.
I'm intrigued about obviously this coaching thing because I think it's obviously like took off and you've done excellent work. So my question to you would be, we've just mentioned ceiling there, and you were like, no, I want to push it further. But what is the aim? Where do you want to get?
The aim is to be. My aim is to be the number one in the UK. That's what I want to be. Whether you'll get to that level, if you don't have the ambition or the dream, we look at franchising out like people do. It's doable. I follow bigger academies than me on social media and think, well, they've done it. Why can't I do it?
Yep.
I've started with nothing and got to this. So why not? That's one of the main reasons of leaving work.
Yeah,
because you can then go bang. But again, you've got to get the right staff in. But there'll not be a lack of trying. And it's same with football coaching career. Everyone says, well, who do you want to manage? I'm like, I want to manage a professional team. That's what I want to do. Will I ever get there? Maybe not. But if you haven't got an ambition to get there, why am I bothering doing it? Do you know what I mean? So my mentality is always
be the best.
Be the best you can be, yeah. And if I'm not there, how can I say that to players if I'm not going to do it myself?
I believe in it yourself.
That's basically one of the top reasons I do as well.
So question 3 is going to come at you in 2 parts.
Go on then.
More or less red cards than Roy Keane, do you think?
Do you think you've had a lot of red cards in your career?
I've had a lot.
Who said that?
How many Roy Keane had, do we know?
I think he said 13.
13.
I'd say I was be up there.
Would you?
Yeah.
You play Saturday and Sundays though, so you got that advantage.
I played more games.
What a lot of red cards for Jimmy?
Bad tackles. Yeah, so I would have
slightly late. Or over the top.
Not as quick as he could.
Yeah. I like to tackle. I'm aggressive. I like that part of the game. I loved it. And if I did them now, you'd probably have like 8 game bans and stuff. But back then it were more exceptional.
A few oranges in there, weren't
yeah. Maybe a couple of 2 yellows again. Again, maybe it's at NCL level sometimes, even at that level. You could pick 2 yellows up for next to nothing sometimes, couldn't you? Yeah. Maybe a little bit of mouth as well might have got me into a
that
might have been one of them.
That's what I tend to do with me Reds. One were at least for a bit.
So that was part A. And then part B, more reds or goals?
Definitely more reds. I was no goal scoring that. I think, again, as a left back or whatever, you didn't cross the halfway line in that era, did you? Now you've got to be a Trent, haven't you, and get an overlap.
Yeah.
It was stay at home.
Three touch.
I can't even remember last time.
Definitely Reds then, wasn't it?
I'll tell you what, can I tell you one quick story though? This is probably my crowning glory at Usma Bridge. We played on a Wednesday and I scored a perfect hat-trick, right? True story. I scored a free kick, left-footed free kick, so left-footed. Back stick it come over, I got an header, and then off a rebound right foot. And I remember it chronicle that was absolutely buzzing with
Perfect.
From left wing back.
Did you get match ball?
I probably didn't take it home to be honest. I probably would have done.
WBF.
I can't remember scoring goals, but
Have you seen match ball anyway?
Yeah, I weren't a goal scorer. As I say, I weren't wanting to be glory. I probably preferred a yellow card and just thought I've hurt somebody there. I've got a good tackle in there.
And Brett's going to come at you with last one.
Final one, and it's just because we were talking about it earlier. Justin, similar ages, slightly younger than us, Jimmy, but best England coach in your lifetime?
Terry Venables.
3 out of 3.
We nailed it. That's 3 out of 3. We said exactly
You know what,
96 euros.
Again, talk about football. Ian Shirley used to love a 3-5-2. I do actually. I've got the right players. Terry Venables used to play 3-5-2, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
96.
Yep.
And well, I mentioned about that summer. I think it's like the summer football came home, and it's like it's a class documentary of it. And he's saying, "I got Terry Venables." Good question, that.
Yeah, good. Well, thank you, Jimmy, for today.
Pleasure.
Much appreciated.
Can I just say as well? I think what you're doing is brilliant. I think you'll do really well on it.
Thank you very much.
I've seen what you've been putting out there, and obviously I know you both really well. And
Yeah.
I think you'll do. I think loads of people, they might not listen to mine, but they might listen to it. But what you're doing, there'll be a lot of people in that non-league. It's a big boom non-league. I think you're coming at the right time, and I think wish you the best of luck. But I think you'll do really well.
Thanks ever so much, mate. Thanks ever so much.
Cheers.